Assalamu alaikum guys. Magomed Ankalaev versus Khalil Rountree Jr. is finally confirmed and it's gonna be a banger of a fight, bro. Like, let's just put it out there, right? But honestly, this is a perfect matchup for both of them, like, right? Because both of them are obviously coming off very, let's just say, devastating knockout losses, right? Khalil lost against Yuri Prohaska and Magomed obviously Alex Pereira. But the thing is, I'm honestly really glad that this fight actually got made because, and more than anything, it's big ups to Khalil Rountree, bro. Because this guy, he hasn't had a single easy fight ever since like a long time ago. I don't even remember, right? Like, he fought Alex Pereira, then Jamal Hill, who isn't really the best, but still, he's a dangerous opponent nonetheless. And then Yuri Prohaska, of course, and now he's fighting Magomed Ankalaev, who most people are claiming that other than Alex Pereira, he is the best light heavyweight fighter in the world, right? And honestly, big ups to him, big ups to Magomed, because this guy, I know a lot of people are writing him off, especially after that knockout loss to Alex Pereira. Still, I feel like he's still pretty underrated, and even though going into this fight, he's definitely a huge favorite, and for obvious reasons, still I feel like Magomed is beyond that. And even though I won't be surprised if the UFC doesn't give him a title shot for a while, still, even if he does get it against someone like Yuri Prohaska, Carlos Ulberg, anyone, right? I feel like he's gonna do a pretty easy job, let's just say, in a title fight, because that over the past few years, right, the only fighter who beat Alex Pereira, even though it was a very sick and let's just say it was a very limited version of Pereira, is still Magomed Ankalaev nonetheless. And let's say if Alex Pereira knocks out Cyril Gane, right, in the White House, if anything, that will make Magomed Ankalaev look even better. But for this fight, at least, Khalil Rountree and Magomed Ankalaev, right? It's a good fight, of course. A complete striking battle, and if Khalil decided to wrestle even a little bit, it might cause Magomed a bit of problem. But yeah, I feel like both guys are looking for knockout. The problem with Khalil is, right, firstly, this is a 5-rounder, so yeah, it's a 5-rounder, so we know Khalil has a disadvantage to begin with, because I'm not saying his casting is bad, but like, if he really pushes to win the first few rounds, right, for example, what he did against Yuri Prohaska, right. And I'm not saying that Magomed is as dangerous a striker as Yuri Prohaska, because Magomed is much more technical striker, not just power punches, right. I'm again not saying Yuri Prohaska doesn't have any technique, but it's just when it comes to landing and damaging, Yuri Prohaska, in my opinion, is much better than Magomed Ankalaev, right? Because, for example, if we take a look at Magomed's style, right, he is much more of a 5-round fighter. Like, he will win throughout the 5 rounds, and he will make sure he at least gets a 48, 47, if not 49, 46, right? Yeah, and that style against someone like Khalil Rountree will be very, it will be very challenging for Khalil to pull it off, because even though, let's say, Khalil may win round 1, round 2 easily, still he will start to look slow in the later rounds. And Magomed, as he has seen in his most recent 5-rounder, which was against Alex, he has quite a bit of cardio, let's just say, and he does figure you out over time. And that, in my opinion, will be key for Magomed Ankalaev. And even let's say if Khalil Rountree wins this, right, he's back to the top. Like, a rematch against Yuri Prohaska will be a bit unlikely, because we know that this time Yuri will be much more dangerous. But a fight against Carlos Ulberg is an interesting one for sure. And it's just, I'm glad that Khalil Rountree actually, firstly, it's a perfect matchup for Magomed, because firstly, it's a fresh name, also the rivalry is there, and if Magomed Ankalaev wins this fight, he has a solid case to be fighting for the title, right? And for Khalil, he this guy, he isn't taking, after the devastating loss to Yuri Prohaska, right, I really thought that Khalil should and would most likely take an easy one, right, like outside the top 5, let's say, for example, at this point, I guess, like, let's say Azam Mirzakhanov, or just any other one out of, or Dominic Reyes, of course, it's a good one. But I'm really impressed by Khalil Rountree, that he has actually, he has the guts to actually take this fight. And when it comes to, I really hope he wins, because Khalil, honestly, he's one of my favorite fighters. And even though as a fighter, I love Magomed Ankalaev also, still I wish that Khalil wins this one more than Magomed, though the realistic possibilities is much different. And even though both of their striking might be in the same level still, like I can't help but give Magomed a huge edge in this fight. And and that's the case because 61% of you guys, I believe it's 61 or 70, I think. Yeah, I think it's no, I think it's 69. Yeah, 69% of you guys, in my latest poll or like the one before that, voted for Magomed Ankalaev to win, which fair enough, right? But who knows? We may be overlooking Khalil Rountree by a long mile. It's light heavyweight, right? Like these guys are big guys, and all of them carry amazing knockout power. Now, does Khalil Rountree have enough to beat Magomed? I say not, but if you guys think otherwise, please make sure let me please make sure to let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. But anyways, that's my take on this, guys. Today, my talking style was a bit different. Firstly, I'm fasting because it's the day of Arafah, and also today, as you can see in the background, right, the weather is absolutely beautiful, alhamdulillah, in Bangladesh, right? Because today, like, ever since dawn, right, like ever since like I had suhoor, right, it's just been raining and it's beautiful. The temperature, the weather, the air, is quite different, and I'm blessed to be alive in such a time, right? But yeah, that's my take on this, guys. You guys definitely should to let me know what you guys think, and also what you guys think of today's my talking style today. And inshallah, I'll see you guys next time. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.